Hi, I'm Sarah from SidetrackSarah.com, and today we are going to make 3 different ground beef recipes in our skillet. We tend to use a lot of ground beef in our family because it tends to be a cheaper cut, plus we buy a side of a cow, and so we always have it in the freezer, unless of course we run out. But anyway, we like to try lots of different ground beef recipes, and in today's video we're going to do stuffed pepper skillet. So it's a rice and ground beef and peppers in a skillet, all mixed together. It's really good. It's one of our favorites. The next one will be beef and macaroni. It's kind of like goulash, but a little different flavor to it. So you'll want to try that. It's definitely an easy to throw together meal that doesn't take long at all. And then the last one is tacos, but we're going to use our homemade taco seasoning to season the meat, which I like to make a whole batch of that up and then put it in a jar, and then all we have to do is take out 2 tablespoons every single time that we need a packet of taco seasoning. All right, we are ready for this stuffed pepper skillet, and we started with some ground beef. I used 2 pounds of ground beef with some onions. I did about a cup of diced onions, and once that was all cooked, I got out my easy Greasy Colander. See how it has the bowl underneath it to catch the grease, and poured it in and just got all the grease out. You just kind of have to stir it around and pat it down to try to get as much out. This is pretty lean beef, so there's not going to be a lot of grease, but I do enjoy not having any grease in because I don't like it to be dripping out of what I'm making. Then I added 1 can of diced tomatoes and green chilies, 2 bell peppers that were pretty medium-sized, I would say, 2 cups of white rice, and then 5 cups of beef broth. I finished adding my ingredients of 4 tablespoons of tomato paste, and then 4 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, and then my seasonings, which was Italian seasoning, parsley, paprika, salt, and pepper. I cooked it for about 20 minutes on medium heat, and then once it was done, I topped it with some cheese. I did make sure that the rice was good and tender and not crunchy at all, and it was delicious. On this beef and macaroni skillet, I used about 2 pounds of ground beef. I browned that with a half of an onion. And once that was all browned, I pulled out my easy Greasy Colander where I poured it in so I could drain off all the grease once again. And once that was all poured in and patted down and made sure all that grease got into the bowl, I poured it back into the skillet where I added, it's about 7 ounces of macaroni noodles, 2 cups of water, and 2 8-ounce cans of tomato sauce. I give that a good stir, and then I added my seasonings and my Worcestershire sauce, which the Worcestershire sauce was 2 tablespoons. It was a teaspoon of garlic powder and a teaspoon of onion powder. I patted that all down so that all of the macaroni noodles were pretty well covered, and then I cooked that for about 12 minutes on the skillet. All right, for the taco seasoning, I'm going to use about a cup of chili powder, and then I'm going to do a half cup of cumin, which, oops, I forgot this was not open. Half cup of cumin, and then we're gonna go with 4 tablespoons, I'm sorry, of onion powder. That's 1, being kind of messy. 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of onion powder. We'll count that as 2. I'll do a little more. That was about 2 tablespoons. 3, 4 tablespoons of garlic powder. See if I can keep from sneezing now. 1, 2, Excuse me as I overfill that one. There's 3.5, so I'll just do a little more. Paprika, that was paprika. And then it said 4 tablespoons of pepper, but I think I meant to write 1 tablespoon or 4 teaspoons. So I'm just gonna do 1 tablespoon. I don't want it to be overly spicy for my younger kids that don't like spice. Which then I'm about to add crushed pepper, so I don't know. Anyway, now we're going with 2 teaspoons of oregano and then 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm using sea salt. It's kind of coarse. If you have something else, feel free to use that. I've never used this in it, but this is what we're trying to use. So we'll see how that works. Sure, it'll be fine, right? And then crushed pepper, if you like more heat. I think I'm just gonna do 1 teaspoon of that. We like heat, but we don't. Like, it depends on the type of heat. So sometimes we can do really well with it, and sometimes we're like, oh, that's too hot. So it's usually the kids. All right, so now that we have all of these ingredients, and all you're gonna do is mix it up really good. And then you'll store it in a jar, or if you have any empty spice containers, you could do that. And you need, once you get it all mixed, all you need is 2 tablespoons of this for a taco seasoning packet. So it's funny, I can't hardly talk and mix at the same time. I used to be better at multitasking than I am lately. So I'll use 2 of these in my taco seasoning, but I'm going to, right now I'm going to start browning my ground beef so we can make tacos. Using my easy Greasy Colander. There's not a lot of grease in this meat, but there's enough. I don't really want it in my tacos. I hate drippy, greasy tacos. So if you like drippy, greasy, then you should probably leave yours in, but this is beef from a local farmer, so I asked them not to put a lot of fat content in it. So it doesn't get as greasy, but I do tend to rinse it off as well sometimes, which is nice to have how this, you can see there's a little bit of grease there in the bottom. And once I rinse it off, I can still put this back on and let the water drip into there too. So I'll be right back. I'm going to rinse. I'm going to dump my beef back in. And this is 2 pounds of beef, so I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of my homemade taco seasoning. And then I'm going to put an extra cup of water as well. So I put that water in. Maybe I'm just doing 3/4 of a cup because I don't want to overdo it. And my goal is to coat the meat and then cook off the water. Actually, I'm gonna keep going with that water. Do the whole cup actually. Because it won't take long to cook off the water and get everything nice. I topped my tacos with cheese, sour cream, lettuce, guacamole, and some jalapeno peppers, and that was one of the tastiest tacos I have made at home in a long time. I think I really love that taco seasoning so much more than the packets. Let me know if you've tried one of these recipes and how you liked it. I would love to hear your comments about which one was your favorite, and I'd also like to hear what other foods you would like for me to try on this channel. Be sure to like my video if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel would be very much appreciated. We will have lots more easy cooking meals that I will be posting on a regular basis, so I hope you'll join us very, very soon.